All right, look in, excuse me, look in Psalms 55, verse 19. God shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, because they have no changes, therefore they fear not God. Now, I'm going to have to go and see if I can get some medical attention for the affliction they have done to me. Now, you see the word S-E-L-A-H when it says that abideth by old, the S-E-L-H. Now, that's all stop. That means all stop. It means it'll go into all stop. God shall hear. But what is God listening to? Who's he going to hear? It's going to be me. Then it'll be an S-E-L-H. Y'all won't know anything. Y'all won't see anything. You'll be afflicted in that S-E-L-H. Okay? So, all right. So, anyway, you'll be afflicted in that S-E-L-H because it says that you don't change. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to prove the rest of this verse. I'm going to go down to see if I can get a physician to help me with the pain that I have. Because I go down there and I just, Alright. Also, this is where it's at. This is Clifton Patty who it's speaking of. Me and Royce, we couldn't figure out who it was. It abideth by old. Old means went to the way of old, and of course, like Leviticus 19, chapter 19. So, this is a cult activity. So they want to force me to a hospital for more their drumming up cult activity awards, and they don't. It says here they don't change. I will prove to you. I will go to find me a physician and I will show you that they will not change. I go down and try to get some medication for the pain I have now. But if you look here, this is from Georgia. The SELH, I finger pointed it several months ago. I thought that the SELH is going to be triggered by the reference of Georgia there, which is Clifton Patty, the wicked priest Thurman, and the enemy there in Georgia. And Master in the vision, when I was out there on the streets, came to me and said, "Man, you sure are ugly." That enemy there in Georgia. So if you look also in number 3 of Habakkuk, if you look in verse 13, you'll see this again in the SELH. Now this is the 3rd chapter. Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for the salvation with thou anointed. Thou woundedest the head out of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation of the next salad. There it is again. See that? See that? S-E-L-A-H. S-E-L-A-H. Alright, there it is again. But to show you and prove to you that I am not kin to those in Georgia, all you have to do is turn over to Psalms 51, verse 5. Alright? And that's all that you have to do. Now I will explain to you what this means. Alright? Now if you look in 5 of 51, behold, I was shapen in iniquity. In iniquity. That means I was kidnapped. Alright? And in sin did my mother conceive me. Now I was kidnapped from my actual mother, Brenda Crystal Gull. And my actual family is Loretta, Lynn, and my grandmother. That's my grandmother, and Crystal Gull is my actual mother. So I remember her hair when I was just a baby, standing in the kitchen, very long hair. So I got when I was in high school, I saw that same long hair, and I remember the tremendous amount of love I had for her then, and they're afflicting me right now, but that's what they do. They're still doing it. But anyway, I remembered it, and someone said, "Hey, would you like to join a record club?" So I looked at that, and I said, "Oh, really?" And I was in high school, was in art class. The kid's name was Troy. So I said, "Oh, okay." But so I saw this album, and there's this lady had very long hair, and it reminded me in when I was just an infant child, and so I ordered that album, and well, your intelligence here went crazy. I didn't know I was that. They just go crazy at my brain like crazy, and I couldn't at that time, and I didn't know what in the world was going on, and so your intelligence told on herself. So I was sitting here one day thinking, well, that's my actual mother is Brenda Crystal Gall, because all this stuff that has gone on, and you just went crazy at my brain. You continue. I didn't know that I was that or anything. I didn't know anything. So you can see that I was kidnapped. But you're gonna be afflicted. You're going to be afflicted when this takes place because you don't change. You're going to be afflicted by God. Now, being afflicted by God, you can't wipe off with Mr. Clean. You know what I mean? It's there. Alright?